Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a very important video because I got something to tell you guys. When I'm not filming, I hardly ever wear real foundation like liquid foundation or cream foundation or even my favorite CoverGirl Aqua Smooth foundation on a daily basis just because I'm gonna keep it real. I'm lazy. Now, if I'm filming for you guys or I'm going to a party or an event or it's a holiday, yes, I will use my full coverage liquid or cream foundation, but on an everyday basis, if it's just like I'm gonna go see friends or I'm going food shopping or it's just a weekend, a normal casual day, if you're going to work or school, I feel like it's so simple to use a powder foundation. You will see that you get a full coverage. Wow. I feel like I just looked in the viewfinder and my hands look freaking huge. Is it just me? Damn. Anyway, powder foundation takes me under 2 minutes and I feel like I get a full coverage. It's very simple and easy to do on a daily basis, and you also let your skin breathe a little bit more than if you're using a liquid or a more heavier coverage foundation. The powder foundation that I'm going to be using today is Studio Fix by MAC. It's a very full coverage powder. You can shear it out to have like about medium coverage, but I like to use it to get full coverage, and I achieve that by using two different tools, and I will explain all that in the video. So this is the finished look right here. As you guys can see, it does look like I'm wearing a full coverage liquid foundation. If you guys see me out and about, this is most likely what I'm wearing on my face if it's not a filming day or a more special day. So if you guys want to see how I do my powder foundation routine, then just keep on watching. Ooh. Alright guys, you're gonna need to excuse this face. Definitely not feeling pretty today. I actually woke up about 20 minutes ago and I feel like my face is still puffy from literally just waking up, and I'm in front of this lighting and it's just not a good time. Anyway, it's days like this that I definitely don't feel like throwing on a lot of makeup and I just want to be out the door, but I still want to even out my complexion. So the first thing that I do, well, this is actually something I do regardless if I'm wearing makeup that day, if I'm wearing liquid, cream, powder foundation, whatever I'm putting on my face, I always moisturize my face after I wash it. This is a step that you want to do, I would say at least a good 10 minutes before you go ahead and apply whatever foundation you're using. You just really want to make sure that your moisturizer has the time to really soak into your skin before you go ahead and put any foundation over it. So this is something that I really taught myself. It's a routine. I keep it in my bathroom, and right after I wash my face every single morning, I go ahead and slather my favorite moisturizer all over it. And the one that I'm using at this moment, I love this stuff, you guys. I sound like a broken record with this stuff, but I love it so much. It's by First Aid Beauty and it's called their Ultra Repair Cream. I love it because it also has oatmeal in it, so it really calms down any redness or any irritation on my face. So that has been applied about a good 10 minutes ago, and then after that I went ahead and applied my under eye moisturizer. This one is by Made from Earth and it's just their chamomile under eye moisturizer. I really love it. It smells bomb. Next is a step that I normally do not do, surprisingly, when I'm using cream or liquid foundation, and that is using a primer. The reason that I don't do this when I use a liquid or a cream is because I feel like my makeup lasts long enough and my imperfections, my pores, everything is kind of blurred out with the foundations that I use, since I do normally like full coverage liquid and cream foundations. But when I am using a powder foundation, I feel like the longevity, it kind of needs a little bit of help. It can tend to fade out throughout the end of the day, and I also feel like the pores can be emphasized a little bit more. I don't know, it could just be something in my head, but I feel like powders don't do your skin as much justice as like a liquid or a cream foundation, so it needs a little bit of help, and that's where this guy comes in. And this is by L'Oreal. It's the Revitalift Miracle Blur, and it's just my favorite drugstore primer at the moment. You can go ahead and use Benefits Professional or anything that has a silicone texture to it, because that's the type that you want to stick to when you're using a powder foundation. You definitely want to stay away from the ones that have more of a tacky feeling to it. So all three of these babies are ahead. Why do you keep saying that? So all three of these babies are applied to my face ahead of time. Yes, I prepared for you. I let everything soak in, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start the powder foundation. But before I start that, I know I feel like I'm like, but wait, there's more, but wait. Before we go ahead and apply the powder, I always like to conceal underneath my eyes because it gets a little bit messy if I apply my powder and then a cream concealer on top of that for underneath my eyes. Even if I try to avoid my eye area, powder always gets up in that area. So I'm gonna go ahead and conceal underneath my eyes. And today I figured that I would use an oldie but goodie. I have not used this in a long time. This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. It's a very, very full coverage concealer. Mine is in the shade Light. I'm just going to pop this underneath my eyes and blend it in. Wow, definitely forgot how light this shade was. I'm gonna go in with a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and just try to make this look a little bit more natural because I look cray. All right, I'm not going to apply concealer anywhere else on my face because I feel like the whole point of a powder foundation routine is to be quick and out the door and not 100% flawless. I'm not gonna be as picky as some of the redness and imperfections that may stick out just a little bit. So I do wanna go ahead and set this because I do remember that this concealer definitely creases if you don't set it right away. And I'm gonna be using this Hourglass powder in the shade Diffuse Light, another really, really light powder. But you know what, you guys? I like my highlight to be popping and out there. I promise you that this will all blend in once I go ahead and apply my bronzer and my blush, and you know, when we later on in the game, it's gonna be okay. All right, so the under eye circles are instantly gone, and now we're gonna work on this skin. So the powder foundation that I'm going to be using today is by MAC, and it is their Studio Fix Powder Foundation, and I'm in the shade NC30. Now, it was kind of on a whim that I stumbled across this foundation because I normally don't tend to go towards MAC for face products skin, stuff that goes on your skin. Love their lipsticks, love their eyeshadows, definitely love their perfume, but when it comes to face products, MAC products tend to be very clogging, and I just have not had good experiences with MAC products, especially in high school. But I did see a girl that worked at MAC and her skin was absolutely flawless, and I had to ask her, what foundation are you using? And she was actually only using this powder foundation, so I was like, you know what? It's worth a shot, and it has not broken me out since, so fingers crossed. This powder foundation has like a medium but buildable to full coverage. I feel like it doesn't get too shiny by the end of the day. If you are a very, very oily person, you can go ahead and set it with a loose powder after, but I don't have that problem. It lasts all day long. It gives me, again, a really nice full coverage, and I like that it doesn't feel like anything on my face. It's quick and easy to use, perfect for every day, but other than the powder foundation, I feel like another thing that's very important is the tools that you use to apply it. I like a full coverage look, so I'm using a very dense brush. If you like more of a sheer coverage, then just use a bigger, fluffier brush. So the brush that I am using is from IT Cosmetics, and it is their number 6 brush. This is what it looks like. I love it. It's so soft. And you guys are gonna see in certain areas where I want to build the coverage a little bit more, I'm going to go in with a flocked sponge. This is from Jane Iredale. I don't really know where you can pick these up. It's a very particular type of sponge. I will put the link down below, not sponsored or anything, but I will show you guys what I'm gonna do with that sponge. First, we're gonna go ahead and pick up some of this powder foundation onto my brush, and I don't like to swirl it like crazy because it's gonna go all over the place, and this stuff is expensive. So I'm just going to dab it into the compact, and then with the same type of stippling motion, I'm going to stipple it onto my face because I really want to build up the coverage. So I'm gonna focus just on one side of my face because I do want you guys to see the difference. I am going to say that this shade does look like it's a little bit too dark for me, so I might be returning this for an NC25. So what I'm gonna do now with this sponge is just dip it right into the powder and just build up the coverage a little tiny bit where I have like a little bit of hyperpigmentation. So you guys can see that all of that redness is pretty much covered up compared to the other side of my face. I do have hyperpigmentation around this area. I also get very red around my nose and my mouth. Forehead, I don't really have to do much. That's like my one area that's not a problem area, but you guys can see that the skin tone is just a lot more evened out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so here is the finished powder foundation. I do feel like I look very one-dimensional right now and flat. I definitely need to add a little bit of highlight and contour and blush and just kind of bring my face a little bit back to life. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. Snap. Don't you guys wish that you could just like snap your fingers and be like instantly ready? That would be the most amazing thing ever. I'm actually not one of those people that enjoy getting ready in the morning. My grandma like loves the whole process of putting on her makeup every single morning, and I'm like, no. If I could snap my fingers and be done, clutch. Also, in case you guys are wondering, I scratched myself with my own fingernails because I filed them down a little bit and they're really sharp, and now I have an awkward scratch on my chest that wasn't there before. Anyway, my final conclusion is that the shade that I do have, which is NC30, is still a little bit too dark for me. And this powder foundation actually does oxidize a little bit, meaning it just gets a little bit darker throughout the day. So I am going to be exchanging this one for NC25. So please, please don't bash me. I know that it's a little bit too dark. It doesn't really match my chest. But anyway, the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. If you don't have this, you can actually put water into any spray bottle, and I'm just going to spritz this on my face. And what this is going to do is just get rid of that powdery finish and kind of give me a little bit more of a glow and natural look to my face. Anytime that I apply powder onto my face, I always go ahead and finish it with either a setting water or a primer water or regular water mixed with glycerin, or even just regular water alone. It just helps the powder to basically melt into your face and look a lot more natural. And that is my entire powder foundation routine. I feel like when I do my makeup like this, it literally does not even take 10 minutes. And you look like you spent time getting ready in the morning. The powder foundation takes about under 2 minutes, and the rest of my face took about 7 minutes, I'm gonna say. And I think that's everything. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.